Okay, so we're going to do a very simple example of the divider chooser method. There's another example I put a video up for this method. It's a little bit more complicated. It had like a plot of land that two people were dividing. But this one, I wanted to put an easier example up too. And the videos that they have on MyMathLab might be, there might be some easy ones and some that are a little bit more difficult. I'm not sure. So in this example, there's a cake. Cake is worth $30. Half of it's chocolate, half of it is vanilla. There's two people who are splitting it. Brad likes chocolate twice as much as vanilla. Michelle has no preference. She likes vanilla and chocolate the same. So, since Brad likes chocolate twice as much as vanilla, hopefully you can see this. Yep, you can. And the cake's worth $30. That means he likes this side's worth $20 to him. So the chocolate is worth $20 and the vanilla is worth $10. So for Michelle, since she has no preference, the chocolate is worth $15 because it's half of the cake, and vanilla is also $15. Okay, so the divider chooser method, one person's going to divide the cake and the other person's going to choose the piece that they want. If you remember, it's always better to be the chooser. So Brad can't say to Michelle, oh, you know what, I'll let you divide it, I'll be the chooser, because the chooser, more likely than not, will get a higher value. The divider is always going to get exactly 1/2 of the value. So they're going to have to flip a coin to see who will divide it. So let's say they flip a coin and Brad is the divider. We can do it two ways. We can do it with Michelle being the divider also. But in this example, Brad is going to be the divider. So he wants to make sure he's going to get exactly half the value. He would never cut the cake down the middle this way, because if he did that, Michelle might choose the chocolate side, so he would be left, Brad would be left with the vanilla side, which is only worth $10 to him. And he wants to get at least $15 worth of value. So what Brad will do is he'll cut the cake this way. That way, no matter what Michelle chooses, now remember, Michelle has no preference, so half of the chocolate is worth $7.50, half of the vanilla is worth $7.50. So either one that she chooses, she's going to get $15 worth. So let's say Michelle chooses the top. So she's going to get $15 worth. For Brad, since the chocolate's worth 20, he gets half of it, which is 10. This is worth 10, so he gets half of that, which is 5. So he's going to get $15 worth. So they both get, in this scenario, they both get $15 worth of value. So with Brad as the divider, he cuts the cake this way. Michelle, like I said, Michelle could pick either piece because it doesn't matter to her. And then Brad just takes the other piece, and it turns out that they both get $15 worth. Brad knew he was going to get $15 worth because he cut the cake knowing that no matter what piece she picked, they were both both pieces were worth $15 to him. Okay, so let's do the same example, but with Michelle as the divider. So we can pause the video now if you want to look at this more. And then right now we're going to do the same problem with Michelle as the divider. Okay, so the problem is exactly the same. The cake is still worth $30. It's still chocolate, half vanilla. It's just that now Michelle's going to be the divider. So she has no preference. So to her, it doesn't matter where she divides it, as long as she divides it like in half some way. So she could actually divide it this way. She doesn't care if she gets all chocolate or all vanilla because she likes them both the same. Now she might actually, even though she likes them both the same, she might divide it the same way that Brad did. That way she gets, some chocolate and some vanilla. But let's say she doesn't do it that way. Let's say she just does divide it like this. Because she doesn't care. She doesn't care. Vanilla and chocolate are the same to her as far as value. Obviously they don't taste the same. Unless she doesn't have maybe she doesn't have a sense of taste, I don't know. But she just divides it that way. She divides it right down the middle, so it's half. The chocolate is 1/2 and the vanilla is 1/2. She could do it that way. So what Brad's going to do, obviously, is choose the chocolate side because he likes that a lot more. So then Michelle's going to get the vanilla side. So in this example, Brad gets $20 worth of value, and Michelle gets 15. Notice the divider is always going to get 1/2. Divider always gets 1/2 of value. Now, from the last example where Brad was the divider, you notice that the chooser also got 1/2 of the value in that example. So the chooser always gets at least 1/2. Chooser gets at least 1/2. Of the value. So they might get more than 1/2. In this example, the chooser did get more than 1/2 of the value. The cake's worth $30. The chooser got $20 value. Okay, so also watch the other video if you haven't already. I did another example of divider chooser where it was more complicated, and I think there's other videos on the Pearson website too. So just make sure you watch all those.